Hello, Jody here from Joli Natural Skincare, and today I wanted to show you how to make an ointment and explain the difference between ointments and balms. So the general ratio is 20 grams of a hard wax or oil or fat to 80 grams or 80 ml of liquid oils that are liquid at room temperature. So you can go with things like cocoa butter, beeswax, calendula wax and things like that. If you were going to use things like shea or coconut oil, because they can be soft or hard at room temperature depending, you could just have 100 grams of that. So to begin with, we start with the oil. And what we do is we choose the herb, which properties that we want to use, and we put them in that oil. So I'm going to go with calendula, however you want to say it, petals, because calendula is also marigold, it's also called, is really good for things like eczema and stuff. And obviously if you know my history, you know that we do have situations like that in the family. Plus it's also a little bit good for dry skin and things like that as well. So what you do is you put the herb in just enough so that it covers, the oil covers the petals. And the reason for the difference between the colours is these ones are ones I grew at home and these ones are store-bought. So we kind of prod that in and we get a feel for if it's covered by the oil, which it seems to be quite nicely. Not too much of it sticking out or left over, so I'd say that's a pretty good amount. Then we gently warm that until the herbs change colour, which is a good indication that their properties have leached out into the oil. Now obviously I'm heating it on a low heat. I don't want it to get too hot or boil. And while this is heating, I'll just talk to you about the differences between ointments and balms. So a balm is pretty much the same kinds of ratios that I explained before. However, instead of adding or using herbs, you're using essential oils, anywhere from 20 to 100 drops per the amounts that I've given. And you can do blends of that depending on whatever it is that you want to make the balm for. So you could make a chest rub, a muscle rub, something to alleviate tension and stress. You could even put nice things in it like rose, have it as a nice sort of hand rub. You can also use things like herb powders. So this is yarrow root, which is also, St. John's wort, which has also got certain properties. And with something like that, with the dried herbs, what you do is you make the balm without the herbs, just the liquid and then the hard waxes. You let it set and then you add the dried herbs and mix it, blend it. Okay, so that's starting to smell like calendula. It's quite pretty, quite nice. And so what we do is we strain this out now. However, I want the oil to be left in that container. That's going to be tricky. Alright, let's do it this way. Take you off the heat. Grab another little pot for the hard waxes and butters. Now I'm going with cocoa butter. As I said, you can go with beeswax, other waxes, or use shea or coconut oil in place of all of this. If you have any questions, of course, drop a comment below in case I'm not making any sense. So we just melt this very gently, we don't want it to burn. Heating oils too high can ruin the properties. So what I'm going to do is sift the oil over this liquid because eventually we want to blend them anyway. Now hopefully I didn't get any petals in the mix. So there we've got the oils. It's interesting that sound that it's making, it's really cute. There must be minute little bits of petals in there that are making it sizzle a little bit, and that's okay. So then we pour our ointment into a glass jar and we leave that to set and harden. And just to reiterate what I was saying before, if you wanted to turn this into a balm, you would omit the herbs, warm the oils and the waxes and butters together, and then when it's starting to set, you add the essential oils and then give it a blend, and then you've got your balm. So there you go, how to make ointments or balms. And if you have any questions, drop a comment below, happy to help. If you want some additional advice on formulations and essential oil blends or usage of herbs, if you have particular ailment that you want help with, comment below and I'll help you out. And as usual, thank you so much for watching.